Hey everybody, this is Jim to the Slim, and today I will be doing a review on LEGO Star Wars Set 75312 Boba Fett Starship, featuring 593 pieces and 2 minifigures, which are Boba Fett and the Mandalorian. Without further ado, let's get into the build. Just kidding, we're actually going to go take a look at the other side of the box. You might notice that it's empty because I filmed this after building the set. So the top of the box has an actual size, the new updated Boba Fett. You might notice something about the skin tone on his head, which we'll go into in the review. The left side of the box features actual side box artwork, which got skipped in 2020, I believe, or early 2021, but they actually remembered with this wave. Back of the box features a alternate view of the set where it's landed. You have Boba Fett and the Mandalorian, and actually on this one they do show that he comes with his small blaster. You see the features of the set. Quick note mid-build. So his rangefinder is supposed to go in this side of the helmet. I cannot for the life of me get any of the multiple pieces included in the set to go in that side, but they will go in this side, no problem. Okay, maybe I've spoken too soon. Yep, they'll go in the wrong side, no problem, but the hole on this side is defective. Definitely big problem for me. Not really sure what I'm going to do about that. I ended up having to do was take the tip of some scissors and shave off a bit of the extra plastic around that hole that was deformed. Not really something you want to have to do when building a Lego set, but for accuracy, I guess that's what I had to do. Alright, and there we have her in all her finished glory. You know, for a $50 set, this actually turned out really good. It actually turned out better than I expected. Before we look at the build, let's actually take a look at the 2 minifigures. First up, we have the newly updated Boba Fett figure as he appears in the Season 2 of The Mandalorian after he snags his armor back from our titular hero, Mando. So first of all, he has the same blaster, as one might imagine. He has the same blaster as he did in the 2019 Slave 1 set. So we're going to remove that. Unfortunately, the one inaccuracy that they have on here is that his jetpack and his helmet are both in the older sand green, which, as one might know from the show, they should actually be a darker green, like appears below on his cheek here. I don't know why they didn't have the right green. And you can tell he painted up his helmet. It's not as scraped. He doesn't have as much missing paint as before. The lines on the side are now orange instead of yellow, and there are many more of them than on previous models. He has the 2 dents, one on this cheek, one on his forehead, as is accurate to the in-universe model, as well as his rangefinder. Now, like I said, I had trouble. I had to actually scrape out some of the plastic in that hole to get the rangefinder into its place. It's not a thing you want with a Lego set. Removing his helmet, we see this awesome upgraded head, this upgraded face to match the aged, older Boba Fett as the actor Temuera Morrison appears in the show. Obviously we have a bit more wrinkles and some scars, as well as some more scars on the back. Moving down, we have the torso print, waist print, leg print, arm printing, and toe printing even. So over here we have his Mandalorian insignia, as well as the weapon that he has on that arm. We have the weapon he has, as well as some tubing on this arm. We have both pauldrons, which are larger than they are in the show, but honestly I think they look better on the figure. We have his belt continuing down to his waist, which looks amazing. I think they did a great job of getting that coloring right. We have his continued black robes down here, and I believe these are supposed to be his boots, as well as he has his knee pad armor with the weapons built in. If you remove the jetpack, which you probably won't do too often because he usually wears it, he does have an awesome back print as well. They got the armor and some details in there. His hood, or it would appear to be a hood. I think it is the hood. I think it's the black outfit that he appeared in the beginning of the season, and also I believe in the first season of Mandalorian when he rescued Fennec Shand. Another thing I really like about this minifigure is that unlike Fennec Shand, they actually included Boba Fett's hairpiece. Just kidding. We also have our obligatory full Beskar Mandalorian with Beskar spear, as well as his smaller blaster. You know, nothing really different here from what we've received before. Removing his helmet, same generic black head. Removing his weapons. We have the same torso printing, waist printing, leg printing, arm printing, same as previously in this series, this wave of Star Wars Mandalorian sets. And back printing as well. Moving on, of course I did not do an unboxing, but this is your instruction manual, as you might imagine. We have 141 pages of instructions. I do like that this comes flat. It is not folded as some of our instruction manuals in the past have been. That's something that LEGO's doing a great job of with their box and instruction manual designs these days. Moving on to the model, some of y'all might notice and may not be surprised if you looked at the back of the box, we have a standing Boba Fett Starship in this set. It's not known as the Slave One anymore. Disney wanted to distance themselves from that word, probably. And so you'll notice it's standing. This isn't a custom stand. This is part of the set. Y'all might notice I put my extra stud shooter ammo there. So taking a look at the model. First of all, we have this cockpit piece, which is nice because it's tinted as the model appears to be in the movies. Although the one thing is there's this gap here. Now, I imagine there's a way they could have made it where that would have been closed off, but the fact that this is one single piece with a sticker on it, it didn't allow for that in their design they came up with for this model, unfortunately. Unlike other cockpits on Slave One models, this one just lifts up. You don't have to remove the whole thing. You have a small spot in here for Boba Fett to sit. He just barely fits in there. He just barely fits in there, and if you want to store his blaster, it's not really going to fit in there with him. And one thing they did not include, they didn't include any extra clips to put his blaster in. But this is what he looks like inside of the... This is what he looks like inside of the Slave One. It's not the sturdiest stand. But yeah, this is what he looks like inside the Slave One. Looking inside, we do have the single control panel piece, which there's really no way that Boba Fett can actually use that in this model. Like, I believe in the actual in-universe Slave One, he has a control panel that drops down in front of his face when he's in here, and maybe it should be down here, but that's where his feet go, so there's really no space for that. One thing I do like about this cockpit is there are no holes in it. You cannot, I mean, there's barely a gap. Let me turn on the light. There's barely a gap there, and it's very unnoticeable. That is something that when I do my review on the 2019 version, you'll notice a huge difference there. I mean, aside from the obvious size and scale of the model. My first impression of this model was that it was like a dumbed down version of that one. But honestly, after building it, I've come to appreciate it much more. I feel like this is just a really well scaled down model, and it is based on the model that came with the Betrayal at Cloud City set in a previous year. Now over here, this is the same design. It's not even mirrored, it's literally the same design for the green parts on the side. And here, they kept the orange connector for the support arms that hold the wings. And you'll notice the wings, they do have a lot of the similar details, just scaled down again. But it does look a lot like the previous model. Down here, we have a lot of stickers actually, so you'll notice I did not apply these stickers too well. I had a problem, I had to remove them, didn't apply them right at first. Please, when you apply stickers, make sure you're wide awake and have good lighting. These ones came out a bit better. They're a bit easier to apply. I think I did that in better lighting, I'm not sure. We have one sticker. This is not a stickered piece, this is a green piece. We have another sticker. And the most obvious thing, which is the weapon on this ship is stud shooters, which some people aren't a fan, but I think they actually integrated them very well into this model. If you're not familiar with how stud shooters work, I'll give a demonstration. We'll just do something completely inaccurate and shoot the Mandalorian and hope I don't lose this stud. Let's see. See if I can aim. And now I have to go look for that. Yeah, so stud shooters, not really my favorite play function because it is very easy to lose a single stud like that, and they usually come with a lot of extra studs, which I never know what to do with, although in this case I was like, I should probably just put them off to the side somewhere where he would keep them. Moving on down, you can see they use the dark green over here, light gray over here, which is pretty realistic. Even in the show, I believe he did not completely repaint his ship. And it has these cannons which move. They don't have the strongest connection, so when you're moving them, don't pull on them or anything. You can just move them up and down. Obviously, they move independently. On the UCS model, that's probably the only one where they move together, or maybe one of the older models. I'm not sure. Moving on down into the landed position. I'm just landing on top of Mando really quick because I have my stand in the way. We do have a couple of slope grills down here which look really good. One of my favorite newer Lego pieces is those slope grills. Moving on down, you can see up into here, you can see a little into the cockpit. There's just a gap there. Like normally there would be an interior if it was accurate to in-universe, but at this scale there's no way that's going to happen. As is similar to the previous model, larger model, you can lift up this door here, and inside you have someone frozen in Carbonite in this case. A little difficult to get out in this case. Yeah, he's in there pretty good. Alright, who do we have? We have a frozen Gamorian guard. I believe they're Gamorians. Correct me if I am wrong. Inside, we have a nice, just flat, dark red piece. Let me turn on the light. Get a better look in there. A couple more of those slope grill pieces, so you can just slide them on in. And you can just close it on down. It closes the way it would be with or without him. Very nice. Get a better look at those wings again. They rotate when you turn the ship. Let me turn off this light. It's a little unnecessary. Taking a look at the back of the ship, this is something I really like, is that they got more accurate with the engine colors. You can see there's these parts sticking out, which sort of serve as landing gear so that it does lay flat. And then you also have a handle. You have this small handle, which is probably brought over from the 2019 20th anniversary version. It's Not the most necessary feature, although if you're a child, this set is for ages 9 and up, so it is good to have a handle if you're a 9-year-old and have smaller hands. I know when I was that age, I definitely, whenever I turned 7, I wanted to get a set that a 7-year-old could build. I was really into Legos when I was a kid. So that's a nice feature, and plus you can obviously swoosh it around a bit. Now this green inverted tile, you might have noticed before, serves a purpose, because you have this cart, which I assume you're meant to put your character who's frozen in Carbonite here. You can put this ladder down on top of them. Let's just show that, why not? So, back with the Carbonite, our guard who's frozen in Carbonite. You can fit it in there. Close this down on top of it. You can have Boba Fett ride on the tram, the maintenance cart. When I originally saw this, I thought he was sitting, but I do believe he is standing, as I have him here. Obviously, he doesn't have his blaster in the picture. But you can have him ride on there, bring his quarry back to his ship, load it in. But the best feature of this cart, and probably the purpose most people will be using it for, if you're a collector as I am, is that you can use it as a stand. So you see you have to get this bottom lip in there, and then so you get it into there, you get it wedged in between those two pieces, and you have not the strongest stand, especially if this is shifted back more than it should be. But you have not the strongest stand, but if you have your set in a display case or somewhere where it's not going to get bumped around, it should be fine. And this is how I'll be displaying my set. You can't close the cockpit with the blaster in his hand, but also there is nowhere to really store his blaster, unlike this older model where you had some secret clips on the back. So I'm just going to leave the cockpit open. I will do a proper comparison video on this at a later time. But the ultimate question, for $50 for 593 pieces, do I feel this is a good value? That's going to be very subjective. The main reason I wanted this set is because it comes with that updated Boba Fett. But also it was interesting seeing how they took this and translated it to this, and I think they did a really great job of that. It is like a lot less heavier. It comes with its own stand. It comes with the cart. It's easy to display. As a playset, it's much better because it is lighter. I'll be doing a proper comparison video in the future. We'll save that for then. But also, this is actually on store. This is not on store shelves anymore. This is. So it may be a no-brainer for you on which you're going to pick up. But as to whether or not pick this setup, the main reason would be to get this Boba Fett, which does unfortunately have the wrong colored helmet and jetpack, but he is the only currently available Book of Boba Fett / Season 2 Mandalorian Boba Fett. So, with that being said, if you like what you saw, please like, comment, and feel free to subscribe to my channel. In the comments, you can always tell me what you thought. Do you feel this set is a good value? Will you be picking it up yourself? Are there any other sets you would like me to review? Either that you may have seen in my full collection video, or that you may have seen on store shelves or online. But with that, that is going to conclude this review. Thank you guys, and I'll see you next time. Peace out.